This is the book of First Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 13. There hath no man taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the tempted also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Akim. Before I begin, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Makakurash. Alright, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who and teach well. Peace and salutations unto the elect. Alright, man, today's video, it's going to be based off, the sun. Okay, and, like the sun that shows up. Okay, because recently there has been in the news talks about them wanting to block the sun. Okay, so this is by AI Overview. It says recent news and research indicate growing interest in solar geno geoengineering, a concept that explores methods to block or reflect sunlight to counter global warming. Okay, so these people, Esau wants to block the sun from shining on the earth. Okay, and why does he want to do this? Okay, the sun actually helps you with certain things like depression, okay, anxiety. All right, the sun actually helps you with these things, okay, because the sun provides a certain vitamin D, which allows you to, you know, uh, um, allows you to, balance your emotions, okay, when you're feeling down, okay, Akim, and this is an experiment that I want you to try, brothers. I want brothers to really try, okay, when you're feeling down, low in the spirit, okay, take you a walk out in the sun. Okay, go to a local park or go, walk around the houses, pay attention to things that you haven't paid attention to. Okay, see how the houses are really look like. The birds are chirping. Okay, dogs are barking. All right. When you pay attention to these things, your something in your spirit starts to lift up. Okay, because your spirit recognizes that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai created these things. All right. When you hear the birds singing, all right, the birds chirping, you hear, the dogs, you hear, everything, you see the bright colors, the sun is reflecting, you look up, the sky is blue. Okay, these things, when you're going out in the sun, you start to recognize these things and you start to really appreciate them. Okay. Now, of course, we are in this wicked society. Okay, and Esau is trying his best to make this beautiful world that the Lord created corrupted. And you know what? He semi-succeeded, but the Lord is such a masterful creator that there is still beautiful sights that Esau just cannot touch. Okay, Esau cannot make these things, go away, just like the sun. All right, so that's why I opened up with First Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as in common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Right? The Lord will not give you things that you are not able to handle. All right, a lot of brothers got depression, you know. A lot of brothers got anxiety. A lot of brothers grew up in a very harsh, you know, environment. Okay, that's something a lot of brothers had to deal with. A lot of brothers are going through shit now. You have problems with your women, you have problems with your family. You might be very lonely. These things, Brothers are dealing with these things. These are real battles that you are fighting in the flesh. Okay? These are real battles you're fighting in the flesh that you just like, fuck, man. You're trying to find a way to 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 combat these things. Okay, you're feeling low, you just like, damn, I just want to go to the spirit world, you know? But you gotta remember, Akim, okay, the Lord gave us a way to escape, like it says here, but who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but with the temptation also make a way to escape. Okay? The Lord gives us things to combat these lonely, lowly emotions. Okay, because they come and they go. One day you on top of the world. I don't need no one. One day you on top of the world. The next day you feeling low. You feeling lonely. You feeling like shit, man. What was the same spirit I had yesterday? Okay, because that's the fight. That's the if you constantly feeling like you on top of the world, you constantly feeling like you don't need nobody. There's not gonna be no fight. Okay, it's gonna be easy. The Lord didn't design this to be easy. Okay, the Lord is gonna give you them highs, them times that you're like, I don't need no one, and then He's gonna give you them times where you're like, fuck, I'm going through this thing, and it's getting to me a little more today than it was yesterday. Why is that? Because it's a fight, Akim. It's a fight in the flesh. Okay, but it says, but with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Right. The Lord made certain things to make able to let brothers bear certain things. Okay, and one of these things being the sun. Okay, a lot of brothers got beautiful families. A lot of brothers got your woman, your child. Okay, go out on a walk in a stroller. Go out to a local park, man. Parks are beautiful. You look at parks are pretty much untouched nature patches. Okay, with playgrounds. But for the most part, besides the playgrounds, parks are pretty much untouched nature patches. Okay, I'm from California, so there's a lot of trees. The nature's beautiful over here. Okay, the nature is absolutely, stunning over here. You got the palm trees. Okay, the weather's good. Okay, some of us live where it's hot as hell. The humid is hot. Some of us live in those situations, and in those situations, you got to be able to look at the glass half full. Okay, it's hot as hell. Go to the beach. Get you in the water. Something. You got to do something. Okay. This is the book of Salaki. The book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth. Right? The Lord created all these things, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. Right? Including Salaki, including the sun, including the nature. Okay, we coming into a time, Akim, where we're not gonna be able to just go out. All right, there's gonna be martial law, Jacob's trouble. All right, yeah, you want to be locked in, you want to be in tune with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Hey man, plug in some headphones and go out onto a walk. Okay, that clears your mental mind. That clears your mind from all that clutter that's in this world. Because this place is wicked. This place will hit you with struggles. Like, fuck, I gotta pay the bills. Go out into a walk and I'll guarantee you find a way or find a strategy or a plan to cover them bills. Okay, because a lot of times I'll use myself as an example. I got a bunch of I got some classes. Specifically math. Okay, math is one of the harder subjects. Okay, that at least for me. Sometimes when I'm like stuck on a question or like a problem, I'm like, fuck. How am I able to solve this? Why can't I solve it? Okay, I step out. I go out with my sibling, my little sister. You go out to on a walk, and all of a sudden you start to clear your head. You start hearing the birds chirping. You start hearing these things because that's you in tune with the Lord. The Lord said He made all these things for Him. These things also help you as the Lord's servant. Okay, it says verse 17, and He is before all things, and by Him all things consist. Right, by Him all things consist. All these things. Okay, the herbs you eat when you feeling sick, what do? In tune with nature. All right, and it's not the plant itself. Okay, it's the Spirit of the Lord within those plants. The Spirit of the Lord is healing you, along with going out here. Okay, you go to a park. Okay, the Spirit of the Lord, you're in tune with the Spirit of the Lord when you go out to the park. Okay, the sun is hitting you. Okay, you feel good. It's a nice bright day. Okay, because I hate cold winter days. You know, you start getting sick. You start getting a doggone sore throat. Okay, you can't do shit in a rainy day. You gotta be stuck inside all day. All right, but that's pretty much the lesson, Akim. Okay, remember, the Lord is not gonna give you more than you can bear. Okay, and this is really to any brother who's out there who may be struggling with some sort of depression. Okay, because it will happen. Some brothers do struggle with depression. You know, but right, that's pretty much the lesson. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, to honor to the elders and apostles, give millstone, that I say shalom.